10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
What it do? What it do? What it do? It's your boy B. Damone in the house with Coach Gomez.
That's good.
Welcome to the episode 134 of Along the Wire. We are back at Level Up Productions, and it is going down, and it is the end of the regular season in San Antonio high school football, Texas high school football, and we are officially into the second season, or third if you count preseason, whatever.
It went by fast, didn't it?
It did.
Really fast.
Real quick.
Hey, you know what? But it's been a blessed season, man. A year ago, we were talking about, man, you know, how we don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
You know, having that COVID season and stuff like that. We've been blessed as, you know, people that cover football and, you know, parents, kids, everybody's been blessed out there, man.
Exactly.
This year to have a complete season and,
Exactly.
and everything go well and no shutdown or something like that popping off.
And actually, I haven't even heard any, you know, even rumors on the negative side of anything with COVID. So congratulations on people seemingly taking care of themselves and doing what they need to do to make it through the season.
Oh, yeah, man. That's great to hear going into the holidays, brother.
Yeah, exactly. So every day is a blessing, and we are thankful, just like Coach Gomez says. We're glad that we are able to have this conversation. Want to thank y'all for tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. We have got a very introspective, I say, conversation show coming up, but we are going to talk about the top 25. We're going to talk about the season. We're going to talk about some names. We're going to talk about the postseason coming up. So let's jump into the top 25. This is the last and final top 25. And just to ask you off the cuff, should I do a preseason next year?
Nah, man.
Nah.
I said let's keep it interesting.
It all works itself out anyway.
Yeah, it always does.
It always works itself out. Because I was thinking about that as I was doing this one, like, okay. And then, like, thinking about...
if you want to keep, you know, people interacting, and, you know, you're going to have some, you know, trash talking and having to answer some DMs, you know, late at night and stuff like that. I mean, that's totally up to you. How easy do you want to make it on yourself?
Right. Because I was like, as I, like going through the list, I'm like, okay, well, this person's graduating, and like going through this, like thinking of the setup already for next year, you know, like, like how would I
mean, but if you want the entertainment, shoot, knock yourself out, boy.
Right?
Nah.
Like, nah, I'm not gonna do that to myself. I mean,
it's like I said, it's totally up to you. You could wait, you know, till week 4, or you could wait till week 3, you know, seeing how stuff starts off, or you can make a preseason for yourself. So whenever week 2 or week 3 really kind of goes in, you can say, all right, cool, I was kind of right. Here you go. It's totally up to you.
That's a good idea.
Set yourself up in your thoughts, and then a couple of weeks. Go.
That's a good idea. I like that. That's all right.
Hey, but the good thing is you got a lot of time to think about it.
Yeah. Let's get into our top 25 right now. Top 25. We're gonna go from top to bottom, and we're gonna go from top to bottom, and just, you know, this is the last week, and just give a quick overview or thought of just how that season's gone for that team. So nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Brennan number 1 overall. So they would be considered the regular season champion, whatever you want to say. 10-0. Actually, going back to them, they've been number 1 since week 2. Because, of course, the next week, Judson came in number 1 after beating DeSoto.
We're talking about Brennan here, man. Come on, let's go.
I know, but I know Brennan was number 2.
Yeah.
And then since week 2, Brennan's been number 1 in San Antonio. Cibolo still at number 2. 10-0. Congratulations on winning district to Brennan and Steele.
And still kudos to Steele, man. After losing the quarterback, they came back.
And that's
because Wyatt Beagle was a big part of what they did for years,
exactly. So to be able to continue that,
yep,
with a better season,
yes, sir.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Shout out to Coach Sines.
It tells you what kind of program they have out there, man.
Exactly. And I was thinking about like their 23s and their 24s. And I'm like, this is just gonna keep. And then their freshman team went undefeated too.
Yeah.
So you keep that winning system going. So congrats. Number 3, Johnson. Johnson had that wake up game. Instead of it being Brennan who we wanted to, their last game versus Clark ended up being a little wake up call.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Johnson. They are 10-0. They finished the season district champions. Number 4, Alamo Heights, grinding it out.
Yeah, they're finding a way to win week in and week out, and they've played some tough teams, and they fight through adversity. And man, their coaching staff makes some great adjustments at halftime each game. Yeah, that's what where it comes from. You know what I mean?
So, are you surprised to see them undefeated through the season?
I really am.
But the coaching, you think, puts them over the top
for sure.
Okay. Number 5, Reagan. There's certain schools, and I think Reagan's one of them, that I'm glad to see them in this situation, just given the injuries and stuff that they've had to deal with.
Yeah.
And then once again, Coach Hamilton being able to, win those close ones and making those decisions and adjustments to put his team in the situation that they were in.
You see, in schools like that, with enrollment like that, you should be able to find some players. You know what I'm saying? Especially have a great program going, and you're able to develop these kids. If you have athletes, you'll be able to find you a player.
Right. Number 6, New Braunfels. New Braunfels has been riding that wave. They've been a grinded out team as well. One that always seems to, they beat the teams they should beat, and they're in good games with the teams that you think they might lose to. So I mean, their biggest loss this year to Smithson Valley, and I mean, it's Smithson Valley.
Yeah.
But and who we have at number 7, Smithson Valley. And some people are like, why do you have them ranked behind? Well, when you lose early in the season, it's better than when you lose late in the season. So that's why Smithson Valley is 7 and New Braunfels is 6. And they finished 8-2.
Yep.
Coach Hill, once again, has his squad in a very favorable position. I can't wait to talk about these playoff matchups because that's all I'm thinking while I'm reading this out. 8, Bernie champion, 8-2. Finished. They were behind Alamo. They're in the same district, right? Yeah. So they finished behind Alamo Heights. Number 9, Floresville, 8-2. A lot of these teams that are playing each other, I'm seeing similar records, and they're beating some of the similar teams. Number 10, Taft, just stayed afloat.
Yeah, they did.
They were able to grind it out, and once again, you know what? Let's just get to talking about these squads. Number 11, Lanier, popped up 6 spots from 17 to 11.
I told you they were going to win this week.
Yeah, you're right. They beat Burbank. And did I text you that I had actually switched my pick?
You hear that right now? You got that recorded, dude.
This guy.
Because
he's trying to pull a lateral.
Yeah, he switched his pick probably at halftime.
Yeah. Hey, coach, I want to switch the pick.
Yeah, at halftime. Come on, guy. Get out of here.
I'm telling you.
Put that Benny down, go like this. I'm going to show these stickers while I'm at it that my daughter, put on here. What?
Did you get it? Did you get his stickers?
No, he got my stickers.
There you go. Shout out.
Instead of, listening to this nonsense. Appreciate it, Sid. Like, give me something to do instead of listening to this nonsense right now.
At least he admitted it,
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Number
man.
12, Southwest Legacy at
Oh,
9-1.
my God. And let me guess, you picked Central Antonian over Central Catholic also.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Oh, man.
But I had some interest in that other game.
Yeah.
All right, Central Catholic down 6 spots after their loss to Antonian
Yep.
in a shootout. Pretty much whoever had the ball last was gonna win that one.
Yeah, that was not expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We'll talk about that later.
8-2. Central Catholic finishes 8-2, also a district champion as well.
Yeah.
Bernie 7-2 comes in at number 14, up 1 spot. Marshall down 7 after their loss to Brennan. Brennan came in and just showed dominance.
Yeah.
That was,
and I was hoping for a better game.
Right.
And we're seeing if Brennan would get tested, and man, they came and just manhandled them.
Yeah.
And had some guys playing from the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's good to see.
Having a receiver throw to a linebacker.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right? At 16, we got Southwest. They maintained their spot from last week. They stay at 16, finishing the season at 7-3. Somerset is up 1 spot from 18 to 17. They finished 8-2. Madison is up 1 spot. They finished their season 6-4. Brandeis drops 9 spots.
Yep.
9 spots. They finished 7-3. And we'll talk about them. Harlan up 4 spots, and that's a school I was so happy when I saw them put out like that playoff schedule announcement, because I was like, that was a school we weren't thinking
would make it
at all. 21 Highlands new into the top 25 for the final week.
Shocking, taking that district over there and taking out Brack.
I had someone message me. What?
I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say I had
No.
Highlands taking Brack.
No. I had Brack winning that game, but I had someone message me asking me about Gonzalez, and I was like, "Yeah, he's nice. He's nice."
Oh yeah.
22, Kennedy comes in at 7-3.
Yeah.
7-3. We had Coach Harrison on, and you know, he was optimistic but cautiously, and just wanting to, get the culture change there. And when you get that in there, you get 7-3 in the playoffs. 7-3 in the playoffs. Down 3 spots after the loss to Highlands is Brackenridge. Down 3 spots, Seguin after losing to Dripping Springs by 1 point.
Yep.
Comes in at 24 and maintaining and finishing out the year at 25 for the second week in a row, and closing out for the 2021-22 season. And the regular season, we got Vets Memorial. We could talk about each of these squads and see exactly why they are where they are, but we've got some we've got brackets in front of us, and we've got some other topics to talk about. So that is the last and final top 25. Joe, if you could just scroll up for me. 1 Brennan, 2 Steele, 3 Johnson, 4 Alamo Heights, 5 Reagan, 6 New Braunfels, 7 Smithson Valley, 8 Bernie Champion, 9 Floresville, 10 Taft. That's the top 10.
Yep.
So now we're going to have a little bit of a conversation and just some thoughts on the season as the regular season is ending. I wanted to make sure that all of the athletes who aren't participating in the postseason realize that your next season started when your last season ended.
It really should have never ended.
Exactly. Staying on your grind is very important. Like I've said before, if you want a position coach and you don't know how to go about it, you can reach out and, ask your friends as well. But, here's a thought. That being a part of the recruiting, it's not necessarily the recruiting process, but it does help you to learn how to cultivate a relationship with someone who you're looking for to help you make it to that next level or next stage. So, it's a maturation process as well. And don't ever feel like you have to be stuck with a trainer as well.
No,
So
man, you go where you're comfortable.
exactly.
You know where there's gonna be some guys out there price gouging. There's gonna be guys that you pay this much, you're gonna get what you pay for, all this other stuff.
Mhm.
And then there's guys that are just real, who are gonna be out there helping the kids. And sometimes the guys that don't even charge you anything are the guys that are gonna help you out the most. I hate to
Right.
say it, you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys that do things for the kids out there. You go look up Texas, Florida preps. Colleges pay that business to look for kids. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Those are the people you want to deal with, where there's universities and colleges paying these corporations for you. They're out there
Right.
doing their research. They're building the database, and then they're sending that to the colleges and so forth. So there's networking events that are going out there, but it's totally up to you to look for these. And it's
Mhm.
really based, like, how serious are you?
Right.
You know, people
Know exactly what you want before you start taking those steps.
exactly.
And then even ask questions to make sure that that's what you want, or you have an understanding of what you're really asking.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of kids that come and ask for help, and it's like I tell them always, I'm truthful with them.
Right.
I'm only going to take you as serious as you are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So if you're out there, and I don't mean by you just calling me and giving me, clips of your film. I want to see you grinding. I want
Right.
to, hey, this is my schedule. This is what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Not that I want to be in your business, but hey, at the same time, we're out here vouching for these kids. You got to know what they're about,
Mhm.
So there's a lot that goes into it, man.
Mhm.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Definitely. So, start that grinding now. And I was giving somebody, this is just a vague, bland overview of the maturation process. There's early bloomers, there's late bloomers, there's guys or like who peak early and who peak late. And so the question I get a lot is it too late for me? And the kid's like a junior. And they're like, well, when should I have started?
So a lot of kids, they don't understand this. There's a lot of factors that go into this, and this.
Mhm.
So yeah, you may be a late bloomer. Yeah, you may be sitting behind the starter there, and you don't play until your senior year. But if you go to a camp and you fit the description,
Right.
if you're 6'4", 240, like you can't coach that, bro.
Right.
Like you already
If you're
got that.
what somebody's looking for.
Yeah, if you're what somebody's like, or if you run like on a 4.3 or a 4.4. I mean, not that you're really gonna run a 4.3, but a consistent 4.4.
Mhm.
And you can't coach that, bro. Like you're gonna raise some eyebrows, but it's up to you to continue working to get to that. Or if you're gonna go and you're doing a great power ball throw, or you're doing your broad jump, you
Right.
got some leg strength. They see some explosion. I mean, that's all on you. That's all off season work. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, I mean, that late bloomer stuff, yeah, but at the same time too, if you're doing the other things behind the scenes and you show up to these camps and you put up some numbers, you're for sure going to raise some eyebrows and be like, all right, what's going on with this kid? And once they start asking questions, well, yeah, he will sit behind this senior.
Mhm.
And 9 times out of 10, if you're athletic and you're sitting behind somebody, that dude's pretty good himself. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it
Exactly.
happens.
Exactly.
It happens.
It does happen. One of the questions off of that one, the scene in San Antonio, Texas. I know that we've talked about that, and this is probably the last time I want to talk about it, unless something like majorly shifts or changes. Anything that you see that would give you, and of course with the playoffs coming up, give you more confidence, because I feel like there's a chance that, and we'll talk about it later, that an San Antonio team could finally get past an Austin team this year.
Yeah.
I feel confidently in that, but overall I know through conversations that the city as a whole, the recruiting and the feel of the progression of players by, let's start with the skill positions first, because that's the sexy positions, is a little bit behind, so to speak. Like, not taken as seriously, even though we might feel or see that these kids have
I
talent.
mean, you're right. We may be a little behind, but San Antonio's starting to make a name for themselves in the college scene. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And they're starting to show that, hey, man, we're some grinders, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
this feeling. I mean, we talked about this in the first week of the season, right? We're
Right.
talking about right now this topic
Right.
basically.
Right.
You know, ain't no feeling sorry for ourselves. I mean, look at the stats around right now as far as universities in San Antonio. There's a lot of San Antonio players. It's like 27-2.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Trinity's undefeated, UTSA's undefeated, and UIW lost 2 games.
Right.
And there's a lot of SA talent there. Jalen Jones doing his things at Texas A&M.
Caden Stearns today.
Caden Stearns today. You got Liao doing his things.
Yeah.
And not only that, there's other players in local colleges that are out there balling.
Exactly.
Man. You know what I mean?
UTEP last night.
Smitty.
Yeah.
Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got players that are out there balling, bro. Like, you know, yeah, we may not be that big city, but you can't deny us. You know what I mean? Like, we're
Right.
out there. We're
Right.
out there. And I see where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of feeling sorry for ourselves, you know, let's go do something, bro. Let's go do something. Continue grinding. You know, put in that work.
Exactly.
And I think people since it's getting back to normal, I think this off season it's going to be really popping, man.
And it's going to be time for y'all to take advantage of opportunities that weren't there last year. And it's going to feel like oh, well, I have plenty of chances. No.
And you know, not only that, all that, oh, I wish I could be doing this last year when they were at home.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish and I wish.
Yeah.
So guess what? Your
Yeah.
time is here.
I
remember
those tweets.
You remember those tweets and those DMs?
Exactly.
Man, only if I could be at the gym right now. Only if this, only
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it. I want to see it now.
Yeah. Well, then I want to see more than 4 to 6 kids at Rivals when it opens up.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see more than who's going to be the next Aiden of the camp scene from San Antonio. Who am I going to see out there like Colton, like Xavier Walton? Who else am I going to see out there?
Yeah.
Blowing up trainers' phones, finding multiple people to work with because you want to get to that next level.
Yeah.
And putting in the work in the classroom to make sure you can be out there on the field.
Yep.
Because if your classroom isn't caught up and isn't good, then it doesn't matter what you do out there on the field.
Yeah, because as soon as they have some kind of interest in you, first thing they're going to ask for is a transcript.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So be ready with that transcript.
Exactly. So one thing I wanted to mention in a review of the season, because it's popped up more so this season than I can recall in seasons past. Even though these schools that I'm going to talk about are playoff schools now, but the injury bug hit.
You sick already?
No.
Again?
Just listing the names: Richard Torres, Carson Green, Garrett Davidsmeyer, Keyshawn Rogers, Britton Moore, Braden Flowers, Kendrick Owens, Elijah Rizzola, and Coop.
Caleb Harrison, who was a huge loss of the Antonian Central game. He plays for Central.
So, you know, taking care of yourself is very important. But it's good to see these squads, most of these squads, being able to circumvent those circumstances and still be an 8-2 Central Catholic.
You see, but it's tough right now. Like those injuries you just popped off, like the Coop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was early in the season.
Yeah.
So they still made the playoffs, right?
Right.
So now they really get to utilize them.
Yeah.
Some of these injuries too were like season-ending injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sucks when you have them at the end. It's better to have them kind of in the beginning of the season, so hopefully you can get back on time.
Because now Carson's back and now Coop's back.
Exactly. So that kind of benefits their team.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the other ones, you know, you don't get them back. You know, because they're
Exactly.
at the end of the season. Those are basically ending your season.
Exactly.
So it's tough.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, now you got, you know, you had 1 game or 2 games without them. You got to try to adjust.
Mm-hmm. Because I definitely would think that Southside for sure. And
they were able to adjust. They started doing some things,
exactly.
a run later on.
Exactly.
Now, if it would have happened late in the season for them, losing Torres,
yeah.
having a successful season, it's kind of tough now trying to adjust within a couple of games.
And unfortunately, the blessing is that you now have to reach into yourself and figure out what are the skills you can build, and you become a better player, because when you have somebody with the talent of Rich, then you might not put in that work that you've put in.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why when you have it in yourself to work hard, it doesn't matter who's playing around you at all.
So what did Southside end up finishing as?
5-5.
5-5.
And they are in the playoffs.
Shouts out to Ricky Locke for squeezing back in.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So one of the things I want to talk about is new scene players. I got something else I want to mention. Just going over some teams. New scene players. Once again, skill position players right now. One name that's popped up, but of course he's been putting in work all off season, and Central Catholic just played him. Ricky Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Gonzalez. So far through 9 games, or I have the 9-game stats: 56 catches, 857 yards, and 11 touchdowns. These players' names I'm going to mention are because they're sophomores. They were sophomores. Now they're juniors, and you may or may not have heard about them. Ricky came over from Brandeis and has seemingly been putting in work with Coach Miller of fourth quarter pressure, and has been able to improve in his recruitment and been able to be a really integral part of that Antonian offense.
Mm-hmm.
Just some of your background and knowledge, when you have a player who seemingly comes out of nowhere, it's never really coming out of nowhere. Like with him, and it's more visible now, putting in the work, putting in the work to get in the position or to have whatever notoriety he has right now,
Mm-hmm.
or the expectation, or the fact that he is schemed for, or you have to know where he's at. I was gonna say, what does it take for a player to?
I mean, with him putting in the work, that of course has to do with a lot of crisp routes, running your routes correctly.
Yeah.
But also, kudos to coach out there, putting him in a position to be successful,
Mm-hmm.
putting him on one-on-one situation because of his route running.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then of course your quarterback putting the ball where it needs to be. There was also some other times during that Central game where he was actually open, but they just didn't get. The ball wasn't like right there where it needed to be. A lot of those catches he made were because he has
the ability,
great range of radius.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, with his radius and just his route running, and like you said, just putting in work, man, being ready for that situation, those times.
Mm-hmm. Another name, and this is a name I hadn't noticed until this season, even from last season. Maybe you have, but Alex Tavares.
Yeah.
9 games, 51 catches, 861 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Just had a three touchdown game this past weekend versus Clark.
Yeah.
Some clutch plays and different variants of plays. And he's a player that I did mention because I think that he has a very unique skill set compared to all the other 2023 receivers here in the city.
Yes, sir.
It's a little bit more wiggle and acceleration, and is able to run smoothly out of routes. Looks very fluid and natural.
And that's another kid that, a little more work, he's going to be something special.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Like you see, I feel like it's raw right now.
Yeah.
It's raw right now, and it's and like you said, just with some more work, then sky's the limit for next year. And I feel bad. I think that he can put up some crazy numbers for next year with what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Next up, running back Jaden Bailey, who's actually splitting time at Steele. He's a junior, class of 2023, already has offers. 8 games, 631 yards, and 9 touchdowns as of the 9-game stats.
Yeah. And I just feel that kid would have did a lot more had he stayed the very first time at Steele instead of trying to go to Judson, sitting out a year and then coming back. I think that really hurt him because he was capable of playing like last year. You know what I'm saying? If he would have just stayed at Steele.
Right. Because that's a name that I heard like, wait at Judson until, but then when he comes back, ends up having a season, and not ever just harping on the what could have been, but sometimes you got to know when you're blessed.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. But I'm glad that he's able to bounce back and he's doing what he's doing
And
right
he's
now.
doing it very, very well. Able to catch the ball out the backfield. Is an explosive runner. He's good in between the tackles and outside.
Yeah,
And actually, both of them, him and Singleton, are just home run hitters waiting to happen. If they get to that second level, that safety's in a very bad spot.
Yeah,
because they aren't easy guys to tackle. And that's another thing. None of these kids that I'm mentioning are easy tackles. Ricky had a play where he caught one and it took like 4 guys from a Central Catholic, and that was just on a little comeback route.
Yeah,
To tackle him. So I mean, like, fighting after the catch is very important, y'all. Showing that effort. And lastly, Rhett Anderson at Alamo Heights. 9-game stats, 33 catches, 772 yards, and 13 touchdowns.
Yeah,
We had mentioned him before, and once again, Alamo Heights, and timely passes. I mean, definitely with the 33 catches and a third of them are for touchdowns, then that you have a home run hitter.
Yeah,
or someone you can get the ball to in the end zone.
Yeah.
So congrats to Rhett. And these are all players that y'all should be on the lookout for, because they're going to be some deadly seniors. And if they're deadly seniors, then the sophomores and the freshmen under them right now as juniors, y'all better be paying attention to how they're doing it, and understanding that it's not going to come easy and there is work being put in.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
You got Braden Flowers as well. I mean, that dude plays both ways.
Yes.
Monster on the defensive end, off the edge. Great tight end. I mean, holds an offer from UTSA.
Yes.
That guy right there is going to be a beast next year.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't even have him on there. I didn't have his stats on there either. But Braden. So stock up, stock down. And I want to take that out and just get into some of these first round matchups, because that's going to get into what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the teams as they are going into this first round game. And I think the first matchup I want to talk about is, let's look at 6A.
Division 1.
Division 2. And the first matchup is going to be Steele and Brandeis. I love the matchup and I hate the matchup. At the beginning of the season, I would have loved this matchup. Right now, I don't like this matchup. Unfortunately, until something is to I'm not saying it's too late. I'm not saying that there's not a chemistry there, but still might end up showing Brandeis how you utilize and you take care of winning football games. Brandeis was so close to being undefeated outside of the Reagan game. It's kicking a dead horse right now. You would have loved to see how Evans and Nico would have performed with Aiden in the offense as a focal point.
I mean, it's too late to be thinking about that. I see where you're going with that.
Because I love the matchup and I hate the matchup.
I mean, I like it because the Brandeis staff has faced Steele because they were in that district.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you're going against a team you've never seen. These guys know how to adjust, and I think Brandeis defensively may have some talent, to give them a push, but offensively is where we might be hurting as far as on Brandeis's end. You know what I mean?
Right. And I feel like if they could play the same style of game, but I feel like Steele's going to have more in the tank and be there and ready for more and be able to give you way more variances of looks than Brandeis.
So we got Steele on that one. All right. Who we got next? Taft Del Rio.
Taft Del Rio.
I see Taft coming out with the win. Taft will be working hard on that one.
Taft will. I think Taft will take that one. I give Taft that one. And there's not, I mean, you play the game how you've been playing, and it should be easy. And I hate saying easy, but, you know, you should be able to take care of business.
For sure. I'm excited to see that second. If they can take care of business, I'm excited to see the Edinburgh Vela or whoever comes out of that San Benito one versus Taft.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Because remember, last year, Stevens went down and did an upset.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go New Braunfels versus Johnson.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one.
That game, I can't call it.
I'm going to go with Johnson. It's going to be a tough one for Johnson.
I will edge it. I will edge it to Johnson. And we're going to go through and do these brackets, of course. We're going to go through and see how much I win by in
Somebody gave up the pick'ems, man.
No,
he lost.
No.
He's gonna change the pick in the middle of the game.
Yeah, in the middle of the week or something.
I'll FaceTime you so you can see.
Or right in the middle of the game. Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Hey, man, you know what? I faxed you the wrong copy of the teams that I chose.
I thought I edited it.
Yeah,
man.
I thought I edited. I just sent you the updated one right now,
I
bro.
just sent you the
Look at the timestamp on it, bro.
It was
look at the timestamp.
Coach. He's gonna say, man, the Wi-Fi, man, you know, out here,
Yeah,
it wasn't good, man.
It
I
wasn't
tried,
good
you
enough.
know.
I tried, bro. I tried.
You know what? I will edge Johnson. I'll edge Johnson, but I don't. Man,
Johnson will handle business. That's gonna be a good one. What do you think about Marshall and Eagle Pass? I say Marshall will pull out with that one.
Good game till halftime, and they pull away.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And don't underestimate the South Texas squads at all.
No, they can't, bro. I mean, they all got a pretty decent passing game. A lot of them South Texas squads.
That's what I was gonna say too. I was going over some defensive numbers, and I was realizing that the squads with the better defensives, of course, is gonna make sense. They get off the field more, and their linebackers, safeties, and stuff have way less tackles than the ones who go against than the teams with the bad defenses, because you're always out there.
Yep.
Makes sense. Let's see. Let's go to D1.
Let's go to D1. Ooh.
6A D1.
So Madison and Smith and Valley see each other again.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Right off the rip.
And what? Madison lost that one this year 28-0?
Yeah. But they didn't have Coop at the time, right? They didn't have an offensive weapon.
Him. Right.
I mean, not that he'll make a whole lot of difference, but he helps out with special teams. He helps out, punt return.
He's something you have to worry about.
Yeah.
You got to worry about him.
So that's going to be a good one, but I see Smith and Valley popping off with that one.
You know what? I'm going Madison.
Oh, I would love the upset.
I'm going.
Hill's been there before, man.
I know. I'm going Madison.
All right.
Going Madison.
Brendan will take care of business against United. All right.
Yes.
East Central and Reagan. East Central and Reagan.
East Central and Reagan.
Reagan. I think Reagan will pop that out.
I do have Reagan.
I think with Carson coming back, you know what I mean, and then
that puts them at a totally another level to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
as much as I'm glad East Central made the playoffs, and I love some players on their squad, but I got Reagan taking that.
Harlan United.
Harlan.
That was a tough one last year when they played down there. Who did they play last year out there?
No, they didn't have a playoffs last year.
Oh yeah, because of that whole. Gotcha. Yeah. So we'll
So
go
I
harder.
mean, they ain't. Yeah, they. If anybody's ready for a playoff game, it's gonna be Harlan.
Yeah.
And that's another squad that's been grinding it out, playing, and once again, I know I say his name a lot. Xavier Walton being a leader on that defense.
Yeah, and little brother, man. Little brother's balling too, man. His brother's a defensive end.
Let's get it. 5A. Let's look at 5A.
Division 1.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Highlands and Eagle Pass win.
And you know what? Eagle Pass win. I'm a roll with Highlands because it's 2-0 anyway. But I wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping with Eagle Pass win.
What about that SA Vets Memorial in Pflugerville? Think that's going to be a pretty good one?
Oh yeah, I'll take Highlands.
You got Vets
Memorial in Pflugerville.
Yeah.
I want to see Vets is very Jekyll and Hyde-ish. I love them sometimes, and I think they forget they can play defense. But when they're on offensively, I'll take them.
I got
Are you looking at Division 1 or 2?
We're looking at Division 1. We're talking about Division 1. We're talking about Highlands. Yeah, because
Yeah,
Vets is up
Highlands
here on top. SA Vets Memorial is up on top.
Okay. I was looking down. Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right.
And then what do you think about the Legacy and Brackenridge? I got Legacy on that one. Southwest Legacy. Cesar Tovar will lead them to a victory. Plus, Legacy had a tougher district, I believe.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, Southwest, Southside, Sigaroa. It's only one other team. 2 other teams.
Yeah, but they have their full teams. A lot of these SAIs.
That's true. That's true.
Kids flunking.
And I think they have a bigger. Yeah, they'll have. I was gonna say they have a bigger squad.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pulling for Brack, but if I'm putting it on my bracket, I got to go for Legacy. Yeah.
Which one is it?
I said Legacy.
You can't change
on
the game.
On the bracket. The bracket overrules all. So Legacy.
All right. How about Southwest and SA Kennedy? I'm going with Southwest.
I got Kennedy. I'm rolling. I gotta roll with Coach Harrison on
All right.
one.
What you got on SA Lanier and Southside? I know who I got. Who do you got?
I'll go Lanier.
I'm rolling with the Volks, bro. Yo,
I'm rolling with Lanier.
Going with the Volks.
I'm rolling with Lanier.
Lanier got this, my man.
Here we go. Where are we at? Alamo Heights versus, how do you pronounce that? Ed Couch Elsa.
Ed Couch Elsa. Alamo Heights. Bernie Champion versus Mercedes. I'm going with Bernie Champion.
Floresville versus Sherryland.
No, that's going to be a good one.
I know. I was like, why?
That's going to be a good one. Taking Sheridan on that one, bro.
And I'm going to take Sherryland because that was the one squad that I that's the one team I would want versus them if it wasn't Alamo Heights. But I just feel like Sherryland.
Man, Fort Bend Marshall's probably gonna take it. I'm just looking
I'm
looking at the top right now. I'm like, they don't really got nobody.
We didn't.
Damn. It's gonna be tough.
Nobody's challenging Fort Bend Marshall though.
No, bro.
Not till they get to
now. I was like, wow. I mean, Galena Park,
Aledo, and that's in the state championship game.
Yeah,
and that's in the state championship game. How many times they gonna meet up in the state championship game?
Then you got Missions Vet Memorial versus Medina Valley. Missions Vet Memorial will take that one. Missions Vet Memorial is pretty tough and disciplined.
Yeah.
Marble Falls and Brennan. Brendan usually pretty disciplined. I think Brendan will take that one.
Let me see.
What else we got?
Any squads this year, just as we look at this, any squads that you thought, and we aren't talking about Judson, any squads that you thought were going to make the playoffs that didn't end up making the playoffs?
From the San Antonio area or
Yeah.
just in general?
San Antonio area.
I mean, once again, there's some injuries that were involved in a couple that I thought were going to make it. I thought Edison would make it this year.
Yeah.
You know, that was one that I thought would make it.
Forgive me, Brandon Gonzalez, of course. Injuries. As I'm naming all these players.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought they would have made it.
And they put up some fight, because for them to be in there in the last 2-3 weeks of the season,
I figured Harlan they would do it. You know, with Torres out there, he's already kind of like his 4th year being there, 5th year being there. I figured they'd have the system going and rocking and rolling by now. I mean, still, shouts out to that guy. He's a great coach, great dude. Who else?
On the verge, I was gonna say Roosevelt.
Roosevelt too is another one that I thought would be able to do something, man.
I think they've got pieces in place.
Yeah,
they've got pieces in place. And once again, I mean, if we can beat this drum, find you a position coach, find you a 7-on-7 squad. Make sure you are competing. Make sure you are hitting the gym. Make sure you are studying your position. Make sure you are putting in work for next season. I know there's plenty of plays that people wish that they could have back that they played in this past season. Be able to work on what you thought you did wrong, and if you have that coach, be like, hey, I think I feel like I'm doing this, but if I'm not, because sometimes as players you feel like you're doing something that you're totally not doing.
Yeah, and not only that, when you're saying find yourself a trainer, you want to find yourself somewhere where it translates onto the field into what you're doing.
Exactly.
That's what you need to find yourself. Someone who's training you, it's going to translate, man. So if you're out there doing some quarterback training, yeah, you're going to do some quarterback training, but also work on your routes that you work at your school. Like, I can go out there and do all this quarterback training, but if I'm not doing the outs that we run and working the routes that we run,
right, and
not only that, working terminology with your receivers in the off season, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
stuff
big.
Like that's really important. You know what I mean?
That's big.
Same thing with the safeties and the DBs. Work the coverages that you are taught.
And just like with quarterbacks, if you can get a hold of some film, start studying that film and the defenses. So when you're under center or you're taking the or if you're not under center, but because they don't do that no more. I don't see.
Yeah.
But so you can learn how to recognize defenses.
Yeah.
But make sure you're not learning the wrong stuff. So.
Yeah, because a lot of successful quarterbacks, they already know pretty much where they're going to throw based off of the defense they've read at the line, before the snap. Once the snaps come out, they're coming into their drop, bam, they're throwing it there. You know what I mean? So a lot of that stuff, is predetermined based off your read.
Exactly. So let's go with a little bit of a wider thought. We already did our first rounds, like I said at the beginning of the show. Beating a team coming out of Austin. As I'm looking through this, someone asked me about some of these matchups with Austin schools, and they got Lake Travis mixed up. The squad, I say, I have faith in Brennan to beat Lake Travis. That's my San Antonio squad that I'm sure of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That can beat Lake Travis. Coaching, players, if you want to do names, yeah, I want to see Tyler covering Caleb Burton. Yeah, I want to see Eliza Williams sack Bo Edmondson. Like, for those of y'all who want to see that, but mostly I want to see the coaches. I want to see those adjustments. I want to see how their minds are going. You know, if we're stopping this, I want to see if this Lake Travis, if this Lake Travis squad might think it's sweet because of the Judson game.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. It's not. And I think that they run into the right one when it comes to Brennan. Now, the other Austin San Antonio possibility is going to be second round. The winner of New Braunfels and Johnson gets Westlake.
Yeah. That's gonna be that's why I hope Johnson can pull that one out, because I think they'll match up better with Westlake.
Right. And you know, I had said that I thought Johnson would be another squad I think could beat Lake Travis. But
Johnson, Lake Travis, he said?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's me leaning on Tavares being different.
Yeah.
And because, you know, I've seen athletes hurt them before in the past.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm leaning my hat on, and them having a running game and them being able to hit them deep with him as well. You know, Austin Westlake's a different beast, though. Oh, Austin Westlake, Lord. You know, as much as
they just got their quarterback back too, bro.
As much as I don't,
just in time to make another run.
Yeah, I'm not. You know what? I always say something bad about Austin Westlake when I wear this sweater.
That's why I'm just picking at you right now, because I know that, and I can see you uncomfortable right now. You're like, you just hate Austin Westlake. I know the history behind it.
Like, man, so yeah, that's
no, but Austin Westlake just got their quarterback back. He's ready to rock and roll, bro.
Yeah, and they've got talent, and they're coached up, and they play football.
Yeah.
They play football. Some other interesting matchups that could be. I'm looking forward to seeing Still versus Austin Vandergriff, as I feel that's going to be the matchup in the second round.
Yeah.
You know, because once again, like Brennan last year, they just didn't wake up during that game. And that's why we've been having the conversations of we want the wake up game for Brennan, because now Austin Vandergriff, who after Brennan, they go on to beat Lake Travis, and it's like they've been rolling ever since. They've been rolling ever since that game. So it's like, nah, we got to run that back. And I think Still. Oh, well, yeah. I forgot I have these matchups up here. Well, we already went through all that. I forgot I had sent him that. Yeah, Still versus Austin Vandergriff. I'd like to see that. What's another one? You see, well, if Johnson doesn't beat Austin Westlake, then it would be Marshall versus Austin Westlake, and then set up a Westlake versus Steele. I have Steele playing Taft pretty much, and then it would set up Westlake versus Steele, and that game I'd lose all my Westlake disdain if a dub comes out of that matchup.
I don't know, man.
You don't think so?
It's gonna be tough.
No, I'm talking about my disdain. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Is that me again?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe one of these times, you know, our alma mater might get in there.
Hey,
shout out West Campus, man.
Well, we'll see. Next year they start their varsity schedule, so
they got to put that weight room to work, baby. They got that new weight room, little new facilities that Gonzalez is built out there.
Where was that weight room when we were going to school?
Shouts out Gonzalez doing a great job out there.
It wasn't color coordinated either.
No, I don't think rust is a color, Brandon.
Exactly.
Nowadays it is, man. They throw some clear coat over it and they sell it.
It may have had clear coat. I don't know.
It was the rustic look, man. They've been kicking that rustic look.
Man, you need to get a tetanus shot after going in that weight room, man.
Grab it on those bars.
I think some of them weights might have been around since the 60s, dude.
Let's see. second round matchup between Round Rock and you say Smithson Valley, I say Madison. I just want to roll with Madison. Let's see. And Madison versus Brennan would be a third round matchup I got. What do you think? Oh, I thought you were about to say something right now. What?
Nothing. Just hearing you out, bro. Hearing you out.
Just hear.
Just hearing you out,
Hey,
man.
I got dreams.
Yeah, I'm just letting you dream. I don't want to bust your bubble.
I got dreams and aspirations.
Uh-huh.
Another matchup.
Pull your beanie down when you're doing this. I know you're dreaming.
I got Ooh.
I'm just gonna roll with Lanier going all the way through too on the 5A.
Wait, what do you think about Reagan versus Lake Travis?
Reagan and Lake Travis is gonna be. Reagan got to pull it off one game at a time, bro. In order for that to happen.
That's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because while I'm over here talking about Brennan, I know Reagan's like, hey, we could possibly beat Lake Travis.
What about the TAPS matchups? We'll pull those up right quick.
I know Ricky Gonzalez said that they play All Saints.
You got Antonian right off the rip. Antonian and All Saints. That's going to be a good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
All Saints stacked with some players as well. Hopefully Antonian didn't use all their energy against Central Catholic. That would be nice to see Antonian and Central Catholic in the second round.
You said you hope they didn't?
They didn't use all their...
Oh, because it sounded like did.
So that we can see them in the regional bracket.
In a rematch.
So you got Midland Christian who gets a bye in area. They're waiting on Nolan Catholic versus St. John College Prep.
Mm-hmm.
That's being played November 13th at 12. So whoever advances will play on the 20th at 12. Waiting is Midland Lee. November 13th at 12 o'clock, you got All Saints facing Antonian. The winner will play Central Catholic, who is waiting in the regionals. That game will be played November 20th at 12. Then you got, on the other side, you got Parish Episcopal, who has a bye, is waiting in regional for the winner of St. Pius High School in Prestonwood.
So was Argyle not in there anymore? Because I remember Central Catholic versus Argyle.
No, Argyle's not in there right now.
Okay.
And that game is played November 13th at 12 p.m. Next game that we played November 13th will be the Bishop Lynch versus Concordia Lutheran High School out of town ball. The winner of that plays St. Thomas in the regional November 20th at 12 a.m.
So who do you have in those getting to those second rounds?
So out of the St. Pius and Prestonwood Academy, I got Prestonwood winning.
Okay.
Facing Parish Episcopal. I got Bishop Lynch winning against Tomball Concordia Lutheran High School, playing St. Thomas, the regional. On the other side, I got Nolan Catholic beating St. John.
Mm-hmm.
And I got All Saints beating Antonian.
And they've got a lot of D1 kids, especially at Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan got a lot. Oh, a lot of them Dallas schools got a lot.
Yeah,
man. I mean, that district over there is no joke. It's no joke.
So it's going to be a very interesting first round matchup. Any upsets? Any of your picks that you think might lose?
Tomball Concordia can pull off an upset, man. They run a offense. It kind of remind me of a Wagner. They put you to sleep, man.
Right.
Just grind it out because they got some players to do that. I mean, that's how they beat Antonian.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when they faced Central, they gave Central hell on that running game as well. So if they can establish a running game and control the clock and keep Bishop Lynch off the field, that'll work to their advantage. And the same thing with Antonian. If Antonian can upset All Saints by keeping their guys off the field, because the turning point in that Central Catholic game was They came, they scored, right? And then Central scored, and then they scored, and then they took a gamble and they kicked an onside kick.
Right.
That onside kick was the game changer. Central Catholic did not expect that. They didn't even know how to respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Once they took that right there, they went up a little bit, so it kind of gave them a breathing room to be kind of daring on some of the other things they did throughout the game. So if they can be that daring again versus All Saints and try to do something like that, they give themselves a chance. So there's gonna be some good games out there, man.
Definitely, definitely. So what we're gonna do as we wrap up, we're gonna do our picks. We should have these done, let's say by Wednesday. Let's go
Sure.
by Tuesday.
That's cool.
And then I'll post them up on Twitter, and let's get ready to enjoy these playoffs. And I'm gonna see exactly where we're gonna be for which games we're gonna be covering, and I can't wait to see. I'm hoping the San Antonio squad wins state, of course.
Oh, no doubt, man.
And let's knock off some of these Dallas schools. Let's knock off some of these Houston schools. Let's knock off some of these Austin schools already. This has been B Damone, Coach Gomez, and Level Up Productions. Follow me on Twitter at B Damone on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Coach Gomez at
STX7V7 on Twitter.
Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Along the Wire SATX. And everybody be safe out there. UTSA is 9-0. Birds up. Hook 'em. Y'all get it straight. And 2